Hey.
Right on. Next time, I'll say it again, I'm going to have my balls hanging out. I'm just talking about table level. I didn't know that. I'm new to this. Welcome, Dan
Hi.
Armstrong. Thank you for coming on to my podcast. It's episode 2 of the Rusty Trombone.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to be talking about some weird shit.
Yeah, good. I don't know what we're talking about. You just said, do you want to come on my podcast? And I said, yeah. And now we're
yeah,
here.
100%.
So,
Well, obviously, because you're a director, we're going to talk about directing and
okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really do any research into it whatsoever. What you've done previously besides band video clips. Like, you're just the go-to guy for video clips in like in Melbourne. I don't know if you've done Sydney stuff,
Do Adelaide stuff.
Adelaide stuff.
No, never done. Sydney's its own little clique.
That's why we've never heard of it.
The Sydney guys have the Sydney guys.
Yeah, word.
Yeah. But Melbourne and Adelaide, they're close. Was that a question? Are we talking about something now? Is that what's going on?
I was just asking. I know you're the go-to guy, but like, okay, so you've done Sheepball Massacre as well, which is a movie.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Should I explain who I am? Is that where you want to go with this?
Fuck it, yeah. Go on then.
All right.
This is your moment.
Well, Max, you just covered it, man. It's like, do a lot of music videos, and that's why you know me, and that's probably why a lot of people know me is for music videos around Melbourne. I've been doing that for I don't know how long, but it's a long time. Also do feature films in my spare time. So there's 4 of them and a 5th one in post-production. So that's...
Oh, there's another one coming.
Yeah, and we've always used local bands for the soundtrack as well, or a lot of local bands for the soundtrack as well. So Sheepbog Massacre, Tarnation, Murderdrome from Parts Unknown, and the other one's called Nova Star. You haven't been in one yet, so
I haven't been.
You'll have to be in the next one.
Fuck yeah.
But your friend and mine, Mark E, and the Mercy Kills have been. I think they've had music in all of them.
He's in everything.
He is in everything.
Marky's in everything. He's even in M gig. Tune in.
Alex
hopefully.
Rocks.
Alex Rocks.
Alex
Yep.
Rocks. There you go.
Your M gig.
I'm M gig.
I've
Mark.
seen that show, of course, because Mark E's in it.
Yeah, 100%.
And others, and then I edit videos as well for an actual money, so corporate kind of
Flag. For actual money.
Yeah,
not
just
not the
flagging.
fucking bands.
All that other stuff obviously costs money, but
Yeah.
then I edit videos about drills and things for money.
So what's like, out of all the movies, which one's done the best?
Oh, well,
Or
that's a
what?
very subjective question. I'll give you my subjective answer. Like, my favourite is probably one that's not done the best, which is from Parts Unknown.
Okay.
Just because the idea was really cool. It was about a female wrestler who worked for a video game company by day as a PR assistant, and someone at the video game company. I'm trying to remember the plot of my own film. Something went wrong with the video game and it turned people into zombies. So a video game was creating zombies,
Word.
and this wrestler had to become a superhero, save the world from zombies out of a video game. Now it's kind of, and most of the actors were really good and stuff. I didn't really know what I was doing. It's the first time I did a feature. So like, it's very imperfect in a lot of ways, but that would be my favourite because it was the most fun shoot and all that kind of stuff, and learnt so much about like doing shiz.
Yeah.
I think the best, well, I'm going to have to say the one that's in post-production, right? Because then it'll come out, and I can't say it's not the best.
Definitely.
But my
You
favourite,
only get better.
the best is probably Tarnation, which is like, that's the most competently written. Like, it's got a good structure, and I think it was, nicely paced.
What's Tarnation about?
It's about a
I've seen all your films, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for the people that are watching the podcast.
it's about a demon unicorn trying to take over the world.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm totally watching that now. Fuck Netflix. Well, at least it's entertaining.
Yeah, you can't criticize anybody because did you hear that
Oh, no.
conversation we were having? And that's our job.
I know. Well, 100%.
Yeah.
Every time I seem to be working on something artistic, there's always alcohol involved. So there's not really a level of professionalism in anything I do.
You're not you're
I swear
more
by.
you go for the excitement. It's more like it's a feel thing. It's a
Atmosphere.
vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's Mobo,
What's
Mobo.
what?
the vibe. Isn't that at the castle? When the dude's like giving his speech at the court? It's Mobo, it's the vibe.
It could be. It could be. Like, I mean, I'm expecting you to know, like before, even though we erased it or whatever, when we were talking about Puerto Rico, you're the one who knew
Erased
that
what?
made you an American citizen. Yeah, I didn't say anything. The editor can just, it's fine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Puerto Rico is a part of America, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's an unconstituted territory of the United States, which means if
Does
you're
that
born
count?
there,
Does that count?
it's not as part of America. It's an unconstituted territory.
It sounds like that counts. Like it's part of America, right?
No, if it was part of America, they'd be American, not Puerto Rican.
I think it's, yeah. Well, they're American.
Anyway, the point being, your brother lives there and you have no idea why. You just
No, I
know
do.
that his,
No.
his
He
kid's
just
American.
had a kid, and
Right.
he bounced off there to have the kid because she's Puerto Rican.
Right.
And yeah, she wanted to have the kid in her home country.
And you still haven't answered this, and I'm curious to know, is he wrestling there?
Not in Puerto Rico.
Not in Puerto Rico.
Nah, he's gone from Puerto Rico to Mexico.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know how he's swindling that, but
Like,
he's,
is that allowed right now?
I don't know. I don't think so. Definitely, but then again, it's like Mexico and Puerto Rico.
Where's Mexico? Yeah, but like that's like, you know, America and Puerto Rico, right? Like, is Mexico part of? What's Mexico part of?
I'd say South America.
Yeah, that's what I would have said for Puerto Rico as well. But apparently, it was a Caribbean
know,
island or
it kinda-
Caribbean. How do you
it
pronounce that word?
Kind of seemed like they didn't want to let a lot of people from Mexico into America at one point.
It's
Get
North
that.
America, according to Google.
Mexico, as
North
in
America.
okay,
Is it?
that'll be the
Yeah, wow.
continent of North America, right?
I thought that was still south. I thought
They
the
have
United
Mexico
States
is
It is the southern portion of North America.
really.
Americans are just so fucked. They make no sense.
They're fun, though.
Mexico is the southern portion of North America.
I thought all of the United States was only North America.
Well,
and then
the-
everything south of that, like from Mexico on, was
Yeah.
South America, the continent
Well,
was.
segueing back to films,
Yes.
the territory of North America is the country America plus Canada for some reason.
Yeah, the American.
And they
yeah.
call that North America when you're talking about the territory in which you would sell your
Don't forget
film.
Alaska.
Yeah, that's a whole another. Is it a country?
No, it's part of America.
Do you know those?
It's like
right.
Puerto Rico.
You know those? You know those videos on YouTube where they ask Americans questions about things and they all look.
Oh,
so
I
dumb
love
'cause-
those.
Yeah, we're just looking like that right now.
100%.
Because what the hell are we?
Yeah.
We're just making some shit up about things
I
that
think
are.
I think it's crazy how they're not good at geography, but yeah, 100% right there. And it's like
No.
we just totally fucked that one up as
Alaska.
well.
I'm like, is it part of America? Puerto Rico? How can that be
It's
part of
just off
America?
Canada, but it's part of America, right?
I don't think so. I think Alaska's just. I don't
Serena
know.
is Alaska.
It's a U.S. state.
It's a
It
US
is.
state.
Boom, it is. It's
Well,
American.
that's what I said. I think.
That's what I said.
Oh, fuck off. It's what I
It's
said.
my fucking podcast. Why the fuck are you asking me the questions?
I don't
Why
know.
you on here?
Why am I asking you
Alright,
the question?
so
Do you know why? I can
Did we
tell-
talk about the crazy shit we saw in the Alex where we
In
just
there?
had- Yeah.
We can talk about that. I should have taken a photo.
Right.
I
So
didn't.
just before this interview,
Yeah.
when I was trying to think of things to ask you,
Yeah.
obviously did not do any research whatsoever.
No.
But we were privy to go see the room
Over
on
in
the
the-
side.
Yeah, in the Alex Theatre here, where now I forget the name of it, but it's that it's the virtual reality rear screen projection things that uses the Unreal Engine, which is the same technology they use for the backgrounds in The Mandalorian, which you probably know.
Yes.
Which is like, so I had no idea this technology was in Melbourne, so it was exciting to be standing in the studio and seeing it there. But like, back in the olden days, if you wanted to say shoot you, and then put behind us here this wall or a different wall, you might stick a green screen there, right? And then later on, your editor would stick whatever they want in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's all fine and dandy and nice and easy. But let's say we wanted an exciting shot where the camera's all moving around and stuff. That would make the editor's job really painful because they have to move the background as it should move in terms of perspective. So these screens or whatever are attached to a virtual reality engine, the Unreal Engine from the video game, which means as the camera moves, the background will stay as it'll look correct perspective compared to where the camera might be. These are technical gestures I'm doing at the moment that explain it perfectly. So it's
I'm understanding it.
yeah,
So it's
another,
working.
It's another very cool kind of tool that a lot of people are talking about right now, and I was kind of looking into online, which explains why I've got expert knowledge and the ability to describe. what's going on. But I had no idea they had a little setup for that exact thing just over there. And we were talking to, what was his name? Was it Alan? What was his name? We're talking to an important man whose name I remember now, Alan. That was him.
Alan from the Alex.
Yeah, talking to Alan.
He's got a show here, doesn't he, too? We can plug quickly.
No, he manages the
He's the
building.
manager.
So he's basically the man that gave us the all clear to have
Yeah.
the podcast here.
So he's an important person whose name I should remember. Like, what was it, Alex? Alan.
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 Yep. Alan at the Alex.
Yeah, but he was saying they set it up so that people could experiment with it and like learn how to use the tool and that kind of stuff. It's not the full
So
Hollywood version.
when that's on, because it just looks like black walls.
Yeah, it's screens.
But when that's on, that's like a TV.
You could basically, giant TV screens and 360 degrees, and you create a three-dimensional world. Like if you're playing a video game, you know how it's a three-dimensional world. You can turn any way you like, and the world exists.
Right.
You create one of those worlds, and that is feeding into the camera. So whichever way you turn the camera, the world knows how to orient itself so that it looks like you're really there.
Yeah.
And then you can film your actors here and kind of shoot it all in camera instead of an editor trying to 3D track a picture of the background or whatever.
When he
into
was
position.
explaining that,
Yeah.
my head went straight to porn. And I thought if it's a 360 thing, wouldn't it be good if you're just watching that scene after you're done, you can kind of turn around and see the sound go like eating a sandwich. Like,
I debate your use of the word wouldn't it be good in that whole description, but it would be
well, it'd be
possible.
funny afterwards. You're like, wow, this is really graphic. Sound check.
Anyway, so that's a very kind of cool thing, and we should experiment in there and do some stuff.
Yeah,
with video.
that would be
Like
cool.
it would be a good thing to experiment. We were talking about music videos before, probably,
Yes.
and it would be a good thing to experiment with music videos because if you fuck it all up or it doesn't look particularly realistic, you just go style choice and it'll work because it's a music video. Whereas if you were trying to create a piece of drama or whatever, it'd be like,
That's true.
yeah. So it's a perfect place to experiment, and it'll look pretty damn expensive and flashy. But I'm guessing there'll be a few people queued up to kind of get it going.
I always saw blue screen, like green screens and that. You could tell.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and You're like,
So
wow, this fucking.
you can probably, depending how well it's done, if you watch The Mandalorian,
I have definitely watched it.
yeah. Well, for a start though,
I'll
they
watch it again now.
they can get away with a lot though because the backgrounds are like space, so it's not realistic
So
anyway.
my next video clip.
Space. Yeah. But it's a great way to do it, and you would physically be in the same actual shot as the background instead of the background being put in there
Yeah.
later, so you don't get that key line that you can always kind of. Well, actually, the truth is you can always spot green screen when it's not done very well,
100%.
but the times you don't notice is the times it might be green screen and you didn't notice, so you don't know whether you're not spotting it when it's done well.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's easy to do green screen badly.
Have
though.
you seen Quentin Tarantino's Glorious Bastards?
Yes.
Right, you know the opening scene where he's in the house, right?
Oh yes.
The background out the windows, for me, I'm like, looks so fake, but in the area that they were in, like the hills of France, probably could have been real.
Yeah, right.
Could have been one of those things where I'm like, it looks fake, but it's like, it's probably real, and the realness looks fake.
That's sometimes possible, or they could easily have been fake because that was probably a set built on a soundstage somewhere.
Yeah, I'm totally fucking kidding myself. As if they went to France for that shit. We got one scene.
What?
It was totally intentional.
Well, it's Quentin Tarantino
It was?
as well.
Yes.
Wait, it was filmed there?
Everything about that film is intentional.
Quentin Tarantino is a very pretty
Well, the
deliberate.
background out the window.
Yeah, he's a
What
pretty.
was the intention?
Yeah, he's a pretty deliberate filmmaker. He enjoys throwbacks to like grindhouse or B grade movie things because he's done, and he's done weird things like in what was the cowboy one? Django Unchained.
Oh,
There's a Django. What's his name? Jamie Foxx is walking around with a pair of aviator sunglasses or something like this, like completely anachronistic sunglasses,
yeah.
which wouldn't have existed in the time period, and that was deliberate as well. And he has used green screen backgrounds in other movies as well. It's part of his style, part of his shtick, part of his pastiche.
I love his movies. I love
Yeah,
the
he's
one
a-
in Hateful Eight where he smashes that guitar, which was from the historically
Yeah, apparently.
from the museum,
Yeah.
and she's screaming like, "Holy
Yeah.
fuck! You just broke that guitar."
Well, I think nobody told him, right?
I think I don't know. Maybe he was just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go for it anyway."
Well, what I've heard is
Quentin will love it.
I've heard that it was unrehearsed and nobody told him that like this is an
don't
antique. Don't
fucking
smash it. I think he probably assumed they had 20 exactly like it out the back.
Yeah.
Like that. But or then again, I heard that like on the internet. So who
That's
knows
true.
if that's true or
I
not?
don't know. If I was him, I'd be like, I'll smash this for real.
Yeah,
I'll be like, whoops. Tarantino will love it.
That's possible as well. That's possible as well. But he's no, he's a great filmmaker and very deliberate in all the weird things he does. So like, I have no doubt that background. I can't picture that actually in my head right now. I'm probably going to go home and watch it now just to see.
Yeah, well, I was just
But-
watching it the other day. That's why I put it on.
Well, if it does look fake, like it's keyed in or whatever,
Well, it looks
he would.
so fake that it was like, maybe it's real.
Well, I
Just
would-
like the landscape there looks fucking
yeah.
beautiful.
Well, he's done that deliberately for sure. I can't tell you what his intention was in doing that, but
Pissed
like
me off.
possibly to piss you specifically off.
Yeah.
He's an interesting filmmaker, so he
I
could have
love-
done
I
that.
love Tarantino
He
as
could have
well.
done that.
I love how they're just like, you can never really think about the plot of what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And most of the conversations in these movies are just normal conversations. They're not leading to whatever the movie's going to do later. They're just bullshit conversations.
Well, that's where he's really clever because his movies are intensely structured. They are always leading somewhere, even though his dialogue sounds like just rubbish dialogue. But that's just how nice and good he is at writing dialogue.
Yeah.
But his movies are some of the most like structured I've ever seen. Like they're really precisely structured, and they do always move towards from the very beginning to the very end. It's like, oh, it was inevitable once the movie started, it was going to end up here. You don't realize that till the end of the movie. But like, because I also have to say this whole like aimless dialogue thing.
Yeah.
This is the one issue I have with Quentin
That's this
Tarantino.
whole podcast.
This, in fact, this dialogue this is a script written by Quentin Tarantino. We're
Oh,
not just
100%.
riffing.
I don't know about it yet.
But I have to blame Quentin Tarantino for an entire generation of student filmmakers who think that like good writing is just having snappy bullshit dialogue,
Oh,
because it shits me to tears. They're riffing off Quentin Tarantino's dialogue style, but without actually putting that specific structure that takes the movie somewhere underneath it. So in
that
fact, they're just
second chromosome in
being
it.
tosspot monkey cunts.
Yeah.
I just made up that insult, but it was not a bad one. Tosspot monkey cunts.
I get it. Like,
Yeah.
you can't knock it off. I mean,
Well-
they do say great artists steal.
It's
right?
not no. If you copy what someone else did, it's obviously plagiarism. But if you copy what like about 20 different people did, then it's research. So I think that's fine.
100%.
But this is just like trying to ape a particularly fashionable style of dialogue that like Quentin Tarantino did and made popular. But he was doing more than just snappy dialogue. He was also making a like really clever.
Are these
well-directed
students
film.
like that you teach?
No,
Or
I
that
don't.
you know, or that you're in class with?
What have I got to teach anybody?
I thought
These
you,
are.
man, I don't know, you might teach
I have to be-
filmmaking some shit.
I have to be-
I did not research what you do with your life apart from the fact that you've done a handful of bands that I know's video clips and a movie. I didn't know you made 5 fucking movies.
Yeah,
I thought it was 2.
No. It's what's 4 with 1 in post. So
And if
far.
we can quickly plug the one that's coming out.
Oh, Nova Star, but I don't know when
Nova
I don't know when it'll be finished.
Coming out in 10 fucking years.
Could be, could be. That's happened before.
Yeah.
But you had a question then, and I forget what it was. But I had an answer, but because I've forgotten the question, the answer's gone.
What you did previously before.
Oh, film students. Do I
Yeah,
teach them? Yeah. No, and I have to be slightly careful because I don't know who's listening to this, but I'm guessing it's it's you, so it's probably more musos. The film students I
Yeah, fuck
refer to are the ones who volunteer to help on some of the films I've made.
Fuck 'em.
Lovely people.
Fuck 'em. Like,
Lovely people.
You're learning the
But-
biz.
But they're always talking about things like they're going to do. Oh, yeah, no, it's only going to have like it's not going to have any soundtrack. It'll just be like diegetic sound and diegetic. I just might have just made that word up. But what I mean by that is like the only music that'll appear is music that dramatically should be there, like if a radio's on in the background, because like Tarantino did that in something. And it's like just because you're copying something, anyway, it just shits me because it's just wank burger fuel.
I think
and
there's
it-
a lot of that in a lot of industries.
Yeah. It's relevant to me because of the film thing. Because I tend to be non-pretentious. Like I imagine.
Who do you reckon is more pretentious out of like film people or musicians?
Film people.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
so.
film people.
Or fucking art people.
Yeah, artists
Draw-
for sure.
yeah.
I don't wish to be
I'm-
dismissive of art.
I've,
But
I've
art's
met a
shit.
lot of artists, like proper ones.
Yeah,
that
right.
actually do well.
What?
I've met a lot, like drawers and shit.
Yeah.
Like a painter.
Yeah, right.
I've never met a like successful. I mean, like maybe Freddie Negro. Does that count? It counts.
I guess.
That counts.
Yeah.
No, but like maybe like an artist who like paints and then has like a show. I haven't met many.
Yeah. Well, there are, I see. Art's not a thing. I don't want to again. Sound like I don't want to sound like a slob now, but like I don't know much about art. I'm a bit dismissive of art. It's like
What, painting in general?
yeah, painting.
Or like a chick sitting there shitting
take a
with like
photo.
a
Well,
with a fucking can of baked beans and it's meant to be.
yeah, more like if you're sewing hats out of your vagina hair or something, it's kind of like, well, lick me where I shit, dickhead. But if you like do a really good painting, I guess I can appreciate that. But I don't really get art. I get music, some music. I don't get jazz. What the fuck is up with jazz?
I don't get jazz.
It's like
People say it's like blues. I'm like, it's not like blues at all.
it's like a maths problem.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's
It's stupid.
It's for autistic people or engineers or something.
It's
I think.
definitely for some kind of fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
No, I don't like jazz. I find it, weird.
It's just very problematic. And I know there is a connection with blues, and blues is the basis of rock and roll.
music for pretentious dicks.
It is.
It is.
There's a pretentiousness about jazz.
There is
You know.
though. They're like, no, you got to hear it. Like you're not getting it. It's like,
Yeah.
I get it. You're a dick.
Yeah. There's
And
going to
you
be a
like jazz.
lot of angry people at this section. But anyway.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I'm like, I've worked so hard to become somewhat, important in music, and this podcast is probably just going to murder all of that.
Everyone's going to tell you, because you play guitar very well, and it's very blues based what you
Thank
do.
you.
Extremely blues based, kind of rocky.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone is going to tell you that comes from jazz.
That-
I'm not going to tell you that because I think jazz is like
I
pissing in
spent
a tin
a lot
can.
of good years telling people to go fuck themselves.
Okay.
That would definitely come up. If they're like, that's jazz, I'm like, name the artist. Show me. Where the fuck did I pinch that from? I just think jazz is just blues if you weren't playing it properly.
Yeah.
Without the feel.
It's blues with more brass.
Whoa, how could that be good though? But it's not even like blues.
Well, I
blues
like
is
brass
blues
bands.
has got this sort of.
Horns of Leroy are a great band. They're just all brass band.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't necessarily hate.
Check
brass.
them out. They're bloody awesome. Yeah, they're great live. I saw
Yeah,
them
right.
at Burrow. And, yeah, but that's not jazz.
No,
That's whatever the fuck they're doing.
no.
with
Jazz is Space Odyssey from like
it. And shit hats.
and
Yes, so.
if you're wearing a fedora, that's problematic, and you're
fucking
probably into jazz.
right.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
guy.
I just want to
Milady.
note that we had to edit out the last episode about picking on a band because he was worried about the
I'm
band.
not
getting
picking
upset.
on a band.
Now he's totally just cut
I'm
out
not
a
picking
whole
out a band.
genre of people.
Yeah, no, I'm not picking on a band. I'm picking on a genre.
Genre of music.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I think, like, as an artist, like, okay, if you're not into it, fine. Just shut the fuck up about it. But, like, jazz fucking sucks.
He hasn't said that it's an issue if people like jazz.
To be fair,
So,
I'm going to put it
he's
out there.
just
If any
saying-
jazz musician wants to come up here and argue with me about it,
Yeah,
Be my
that's
guest.
fair. That's fair.
be my guest.
You're allowed to have an opinion.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Because I share the opinion, but I also realise I'm ignorant. But like I don't care. I'm old enough now to like I don't need to learn anymore. It's fine. I'll just be who I
Can't
am
wait to get
forever
to
until
that
I
age.
die. Now.
I'm getting
Yeah.
close. I'm
I'm-
getting close.
What's the point of learning more at this age? What am I going to do with the rest of my life if I suddenly become enlightened? It's like, well, far out. I
could
should have
teach.
done this when I was 20. For fuck's sake.
That's true.
I'd rather stay ignorant. Anyway,
People, I'm on the arse end of my 20s. I
Yeah.
don't think you learn anything in your 20s, apart from what not to do.
you don't learn anything in your 30s either. Do you, like
I'm looking forward to my 30s.
really.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the cruisiest decade.
Worst decade of my life. easily.
Really?
Yeah, I was so poor.
the
I lived in
only
my
one who said
car
that.
for a while.
Really?
It was an awful decade.
See, that's
I
cool
was
in your
homeless
20s.
for a while. Well, in my 20s, I was homeless or whatever, but I was doing it overseas.
Yeah,
like
in your 20s.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
know,
it's kind of like
yeah.
backpacker cool.
That's basically I backpacked around. I was a bum, but I was in more interesting places.
Yeah,
so
30,
it was
you got
fine.
your family looking at you like, really? What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. That was hard times. 40s, because I turned 50 this year.
Holy fuck. You're
Yeah, I know.
50.
Well,
You
not
don't
yet,
look
not
50.
yet. Come on, settle down.
okay,
Settle
this-
down.
sorry,
this year, man.
Oh,
this year. I'm still in my 40s, technically.
We're gonna
But so
have
I've had the decade of 40s. Then they were also kind of shit. It's all pretty hard. Honestly, the 26 club, that's just neck yourself at 26. Because it
27.
get 27.
27.
Gets worse after that. So if you've
27
made it to
mine.
27, kids, time to go.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
Not that we
Just give
promote
it,
that.
give it up now. No. Get help if you're
Oh
thinking
no,
that way, but also do
I
it.
thought at 27, I'm like, oh yeah, And then when I got past it, I'm like, well, now I'm just going to fucking live forever, aren't I? Really? Because only the good die young. I'll fucking be here forever. I'll be
20.
that old asshole that people just do not like pissing himself. You know? And being proud of it too.
I
Like,
have no idea.
they're like, can we change it? I'm trying to watch the fucking game. Like, you know? Do me later.
20.
Like, fuck, I'm used to it.
27 would be when I came back from backpacking because I think the visa expired when you were 27 or 20. It was valid until you were, 27. So I had to
What
come.
were you doing over there? Just having a
Nothing.
look?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Literally, I can kind of remember. I got did school, went to uni, got a job. As soon as I'd saved enough money for like a one-way ticket to London, I bought a one-way ticket to London.
Why London?
I don't know.
Just
I was always, I always liked British TV and like all that
Were
kind
you-
of stuff.
so
And
going
London's
back,
where all-
were you a director? Like, were you in film then? Did you go to
Yeah,
film
yeah.
school and shit?
I did not go to film school. No, I
That's good.
I did make when I was very, very little. So I've always done stories. I wanted to be a comic book artist. So I wanted to draw
Oh.
comic books is what I
Wow.
wanted to do. So that's what I did as a kid all the time. I was always drawing comic
So
books.
you're one of those pretentious artists
No, but they were-
drawing.
But they were cool. Oh, true. That's accurate. I'm very inconsistent and quite judgmental in unfair ways. So let's just roll with that. But then what I discovered was I liked stories. So I was doing cartoons. So I didn't like the art so much. I liked the telling the story.
Yeah.
And then I used to write stories after that. And then my parents had a little, just show, I just told you how old I am, so I don't need to show my age. But my parents had a little Super 8 film camera. Used to, for people under the age of like about 40, we used to shoot video on a thing called film. Anyway, you'd buy a little film reel from the pharmacist, and it would go for about 6 minutes, stick it in the film camera. It was a little 8mm. I think you get 8 minutes of film. Then you take it back to the pharmacist, and 6 months later, they give you a film that you play on the projector. So I remember making little movies with my action figures, like my Star Wars action figures versus my He-Man action figures and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'd edit it all in camera and like do little special effects, like stick a snorkel under the sand and go, so he explodes and falls over. I remember getting cellophane, like red cellophane for an explosion, and going, yeah, it's an explosion, all right, and stuff like that. So I always made films entirely, I guess, self-taught and all from experience, but like, in later years, I've done a lot of professional work. So, like, I've
Yeah.
learned a lot from other people who've done it professionally and understand.
So you never
what
went
they're
to
doing.
school for it, like a directing or
No,
film
no,
school?
fuck no. I went to school. What I did
What do you reckon of people who go to film school?
bunch of wankers. They have done. Well, this is from experience, though. I'm not just being entirely dismissive, but most of the film students I've worked with, and I do work with a lot, because we never pay anyone to make a film, so we go, hey, film students, do you want to come out and get some experience and exposure?
It's music.
Yeah, but they have no practical skills, so they don't understand basically how to triangulate lights or set up a tripod or like, check that you're not plugging the same lights into the one power point so that you blow all the fuses in the house. A whole bunch of practical stuff that actually makes a real difference when you're out shooting.
Yeah.
And they don't understand basic...
So they don't teach that in film school.
I don't know what they teach in film school because I've never been, but
Yeah,
they
fair
do
enough.
not seem to teach how to make a film.
Right.
Like, I don't know what they really talk about out there. Like, it's probably theories, structures.
Probably like
This,
if
that, and the
they
others.
if they're in the car, just have the radio playing like Tarantino.
Yeah,
does.
which is they're just little, they're little things. There's nothing wrong with those, right? All of that stuff is part of the art, right? So
Yeah.
that's where it becomes more art than science. And like, if you're a creative person like Quentin Tarantino, you use all that stuff to great effect. But you've got to understand how to frame a shot and how to shoot coverage and like how to direct an actor. Like just some of the nuts and bolts basic stuff. The same stuff you'd have to do if you're directing a video about a flower, like an ad, or
Yeah.
directing freaking Gone with the Wind or whatever. It's like there are just some basics that you would do for every type of video. And they don't seem to teach that in film school. They go straight
Yeah,
to
right.
Quentin Tarantino snappy dialogue, and it's like, teach somebody how to
Set up
light
a
a
light.
shot.
Yeah.
You know, what the importance of different types, members of crew are, that kind of stuff. Like how to
This is asshole number one. This is
Yeah.
asshole number two. Get your coffee.
yeah. It's like kind of I just understand that really.
I wasn't pointing at you guys when I said
Well,
that,
he
by the way.
was.
No,
He was,
like,
and I saw him
I didn't
pointing.
mean that like that. I was just but fuck, that looks really bad.
But I need to qualify everything I just said with I am an old grumpy man and I am self-taught, so that's the attitude you would expect.
I
me
mean,
to
you're
have.
inspiring me to be.
Good.
I can't. I can't wait.
Look, I learn from experience. Like, I don't really learn so much from theory. So I have to go out and do something, get it completely fucking wrong, but then I understand, right, this is how you do something. So that's how I've always learned.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough of do it, get it completely fucking wrong at film school. I think they're always talking about how it should be perfect. And everyone's this impression that, like, you've got an idea that can be perfect first time out. Like, I know so many people have got they're trying to get money for their film or whatever. They want to get $2 or $3 million for a film. And it's like, you've never made anything, not even like a music video. Why would I give you millions of dollars no matter how good your goddamn idea is? There's no way I would give you the money to make this.
If you don't know how to make it.
Yeah. So there needs to be a bit more go out there and do stuff. I feel. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
I mean,
'Cause that's how you
weird,
learn.
isn't it?
But
It's like
the-
me saying I want to build a skyscraper. I'm like, give me the money to do it. They're like, do you know how to do it? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're
no,
saying-
I got no fucking idea, but it's going to be sick.
You're saying before, like, I've made...
It's going to have a swim pool on the roof.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I've made 5 films, right? So I know a little bit. But, like, if you made 5 cakes in your life, would you be an expert at cake making?
no.
No,
definitely
I've made
not.
5 films, so I'm not an expert, am I? I've done it 5 times. So,
I will say that
and
you're
I
an
probably
expert.
wouldn't give myself millions of dollars to make a film. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, why someone who's just got a great idea? It's like, no, I need more than just your great idea.
Yeah,
I
you
need,
experience.
yeah, experience and some competence.
Do people who just have ideas in filmmaking get $1 million grants? Has it happened?
I don't actually know. It probably has happened, would be my
Probably has,
guess.
probably.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I mean,
nice.
I've never received any kind of government funding for a film project. I have applied every time, in fact.
Yeah.
But the last time they rejected me because they said, "Oh, we should give the money to someone who needs a bit more assistance."
What do you mean?
Well, they basically what they're saying is, "Well, you've already done it like 3-4 times, so what do you need our money for?"
Right.
Which made me, I killed them all, obviously, on the spot, just stabbed them to death.
Yeah.
No, that's untrue.
Yeah, talking about things that I hate technical guitar people.
Yeah, well, because
After
you're old
gigs.
school.
Yeah, well, they were going to ask me. I'm like, it's a lump of wood that I play okay. You know, I don't know shit. They're like, so it's got this one. Look, the pickups. I'm like, yeah.
Can
I have no idea.
Can I ask you this? Because this is definitely true in, say, the film world or photography world. Like, you meet people who are, like, they're gear nerds. They know,
Yeah.
they know heaps of stuff about this lens, that lens, really highly technical knowledge. And they tend to be the less creatively effective people than the people that come in and go, well, the red button makes it go. And you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'll take that compliment.
yeah, okay.
Well, I
'cause
don't know. Well, a lot of guitar nerds or whatever, I know some of them can play really well.
Yeah.
They're not interesting to watch on stage by any means, but they can play well. They technically know what they're doing.
Well, so I think that's important because I apply this to film as well as music. Like, if you go to see a live band perform, you're not really listening to the music, you're feeling it.
Yeah.
So you just want this whole, like, you want to see some rock stars rocking out, and then it makes you feel like rocking out. You don't want to necessarily hear something highly technical.
Some people do. Some people like, well, my drummer Sean, not to throw him under the bus, but every gig he's always, I'm like, but everybody loved it, and he's like, yeah, but it was wrong here, and here. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was drunk.
Well, there's nothing wrong with getting stuff right, but I would just say it's not.
He's really on it, but it makes us tight. It makes us good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great balance.
Well, a general feeling of tightness is good. Like, I'm not saying you should just go up there and bang your heads on your guitars or anything like that. But it's like, in terms of enjoying the music, it's not necessarily the most important thing live.
Yeah.
It's like, you can make a mistake. It's
I'm
not
sure
actually
there'll
going
be
to ruin
someone
the
who
experience.
would debate me and be like, well, that's why we sound good, because we know how to set that shit up properly.
That's a fair point. That is
I mean,
a fair
I've
point.
spent a few gigs where my leads weren't in properly. So, like, halfway through the song, everything goes silent, and then I'm just looking at everyone like, I'll just touch a bunch of stuff. Oh, it's on. Okay.
No,
I don't know which one's fucked, but one of them's working.
it's a fair point, though.
Even my pedal board and stuff. Apparently, there's a certain way that you're meant to connect them all up, like distortion pedals one end and whatever.
Yeah, right.
I got no idea.
Yeah, well, good.
I just kind of put them together. I'm like, that looks okay.
Yeah.
Like it looks nice. Got no idea.
Going with a vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just throw it together. I'm sure some dude after a gig one day is gonna come up and tell me, he's like, you should really put that in. I'm like, cool, I will definitely do that because I've got no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, it is. I guess it is a good idea to do things properly if you can. It's just that highly
yeah.
technical side of things where the obsession seems to be about the technology always bothers me.
But maybe that's part of the enjoyment of these things.
I guess.
You know, there's probably one dude making movies like that's really fucking into. I have no idea. This camera.
Well,
Yeah.
no, people making movies can get obsessed by technical details. Like continuity is one of them, which is like, you know, is this person wearing the same hat in this shot and that shot?
Oh,
which
okay.
which they should be, because if they don't, you might go, huh? And in theory, it takes people out of the movie, right? So
Yep.
you're meant to get all that right. But like you can on the big ass movies, they'll be noticing whether someone's sleeve has moved, da da da. Or the classic one from the '80s where the girl's hair is over her ear, then it's behind her shoulder,
Oh,
then it's
what?
over her ear. Then
I
it's
always
behind
look
her
at the
shoulder.
drink, the water.
The water,
The
the cigarettes, another
cigarettes.
one. So all of those things, there's nothing wrong with getting them right. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm watching Rambo
Yeah.
and his cigarette is changing length, it probably hasn't ruined the movie for me. So if the filmmaker spent a long time making sure the cigarette was right and then didn't have time to film some explosions or heads getting smashed, I'm like, well, cunt, leave the bad cigarette shot in there
Yeah.
and get on with more explosions, because
Stone
that's what I
Smoke's
want.
Healthier. He's a
Yeah.
soldier.
So
Doesn't make a lot of sense,
yeah.
does it?
no, yeah.
Well, if you're gonna die anyway, you're in the jungle. You might as well be darting up.
Yes. How did we get onto cigarettes? Oh, I brought it up.
Yeah.
Probably because I want a cigarette. Because what's this been, an hour?
It's been half an hour.
Half an hour.
You do smoke
Yeah,
like a fucking machine.
that's true.
How long have you been smoking for?
What, today or just?
Well, no. Give us your. Who the fuck gave you your first cigarette?
I think I started. I would have stolen one of my dad's cigarettes. He used to leave them on the fridge that was in the
Taylor's
garage.
or Rollies?
Oh, this is Benson and Hedges. That would have been Taylor's back
Taylor's.
in the day. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to occasionally steal one of Dad's. I started kind of smoking heavily when I was living in London.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems like a miserable place.
I love living in London. I mean, it is a miserable place and it is full of miserable people.
Yeah.
But I loved living there.
100%.
It was just a great place, full of miserable people, and the weather obviously was miserable. But there was something I just remember loving it. I can't think why now at the moment. It snowed at Christmas.
Oh, wait. That would be pretty cool.
I know, that was cool. It's cheaper than Melbourne.
That would have been cool for about 3 seconds. Wait.
No, it's
it's
pretty cool.
Christmas.
You get used to the cold.
It's fucking
You,
snowing.
you get used to the cold because you wear 20,000 layers and everywhere's heated.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everywhere's heated. So, like, you're really only cold in between one heated place and the other. So,
That's true. And I
Yeah.
guess you drunk a lot.
yeah, you drink a lot in London. That's for sure. You're just drunk the whole time.
Yeah. No.
I don't know what else happens in London.
So were you doing? You weren't doing film when you were in London, though.
We did shoot a bit of a film in London. A friend of mine from school, we'd made a little short film called Peace and Quiet, which was like a 70s cop thing. You can look it up on the interwebs. It's actually there.
Is that the name of the two cops, like the detectives?
Julian Peace and Frank Quiet. Yeah, so that was the whole, that literally is the whole concept. So one cop's called Peace, one called Quiet, so we can have the line in it, it's time for a little peace and quiet. Dun, 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 dun. 70s cop action.
Still better than fucking half the shit on TV today.
Well, it's somewhere on YouTube. You can find a film called
Is it?
Fast Pants, Tight Cars, is what it's called.
Fast pants, tight cars.
Fast Pants, Tight Cars.
Right
yeah.
on.
And you'll see me when I was about 23 or something.
And that's on
acting.
YouTube.
That's on YouTube.
If
There
the
are-
guys can find that, that's going
Yeah.
on the link to this show for sure.
So there are shots from that we shot in London when he came over at some point.
Oh, word.
So it's
So
like,
you were well into directing
yeah,
back then, or you were just fucking around with it, kind of thing.
yeah. Then it was just fun. So it was literally a scenario of me and mates making movies.
Yeah.
So this friend Dave is his name. He owned a video camera and he had 2 VCRs so he could edit it. And we'd be like, should we make a movie? Let's make a movie. And we'd go and make a movie. And we did that well into university and all that kind of stuff. Just
What'd you study at uni?
really relevant stuff. I studied medieval sexuality and I did
Bullshit.
yeah, no, it's true. And I did a thesis. My thesis was on the differing cultural perspectives of the Battle of Clontarf, which is really useful. I found that bedrock for my whole life.
I've used it every day of my life.
And I did the historicity of the Arthurian legend. So I looked into how much of the legends of King Arthur throughout the ages were based on real historical events and people.
How many were there?
I can't remember now. It was a long
About
time ago. There's a whole lot of Welsh mythology and stuff which may have led to the legends of King Arthur, combined with some Anglo-Saxon bullshit. No, it's combined with some Roman bullshit.
Did you get top marks for it?
I can't remember.
That's a no.
No, I did. I got a degree with honours. I'm a student nerd, but I didn't want to reveal that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, this is.
I'm
the-
good.
this
I'm
is
good
the
at
show.
it.
This is what we're trying to talk about.
I was good at exams. So I studied history, and I did some philosophy stuff too, like Bertrand Russell
Right,
and
well,
classical
get back
philosophy.
to the medieval sexuality.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, Richard the Lionheart was possibly gay. That's the main thing I remember.
That's the only bit.
There's-
That's out there bit.
Well,
One guy might have
like
been gay.
Joan of Arc wearing male armor was a big kind of deal, and issues with the church and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I
just did the subject because there were a lot of chicks who took that class. I didn't pay a lot of attention
right.
to the actual class.
I thought, what would you call him? A tinsexual, not a pansexual because of the armor?
But that's not bad.
Thank you.
Yeah, if only I thought of that back when I was doing the medieval sexuality course.
I did. Medieval sexuality. It's
Yeah.
like everyone was horny, but it took like an hour to get everyone's clothes off.
But I really, it makes me sound ridiculously shallow, but let's be honest, I really did that subject because there were a lot of girls in the class.
I did dancing in high school for that same reason.
That makes more sense than doing a university
Yeah,
course.
but that sucked because one, I don't dance. And half the chicks back then hated me anyway, I think at that point. And there was one other guy who did it with me.
Wow.
And they loved him.
Yeah.
So, it went south for me pretty bad.
Yeah, I can
he was
understand.
like, fuck yeah, we got the same idea. And I was like, yeah, I think I fucked up though.
I can't dance, so I don't know how that goes. I did, when I was very young, I was in a band for exactly the same reason, though, just to pick up chicks.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the band called?
It was, we were called Fink Angel.
Think Angel.
Fink.
Think
with an F,
Angel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if it was Think.
They changed the name to Mullet a little while later.
See, that's pretty dope.
Can we get a picture of that?
What, of a mullet or the band?
Of
The band.
Well, this is like the 80s, late 80s and 90s, so there's nothing digital that exists. I would have to physically
Says that
find a photograph
The
and take a
fucking
photo.
smile on his face, like,
Yeah,
eat
I'm sorry.
shit.
There's probably I can have a look. There might be something on my Facebook page.
That'd be good.
But it would literally be an actual photograph that someone's photographed on their phone.
Oh, 100%.
Because they were back in the days. Yeah.
With long hair?
I had long hair, yeah.
You would have had long hair for a while, eh?
For a few years. Well, for a while I was in a band, I had long hair.
Oh.
But I had hair down to here.
Oh, what?
But for most of the time I had hair to here.
Did
I
you
have.
chop
You
it
won't.
off or did it
You won't.
start falling
You
out?
won't believe it. Okay, we'll get to that. Because I am chrome dome now. But when I was younger and had hair, it's like when my hair gets long, it's very very dark brown, almost black, and wavy.
Okay, yeah.
It's like total Led
Right.
Zeppelin hair. It's
Girls
crazy
get the
shit.
girls.
Oh yeah, well like I say, that's why I joined a band. It's like I had the long hair. It's like okay, I'll play guitar, you play bass. Do you want to get a drum kit and one
Did
of
it
us can
work?
sing? Yeah, so of course it did. We had gigs and stuff.
Doesn't work
You always
for
just
me.
make sure, this is the trick though, you tell people to, like when you have no musical talent like me and you're in a band and you're really in it just to pick up chicks, so you get lots of support gigs. You could get gigs everywhere back in the 80s and 90s. There was so many gigs everywhere. You could always get a support gig no matter how shit you were, right? So you get a support gig somewhere, then you tell all the girls you want to impress to come just after your set's finished. So they still know you were in a band and on stage, but they didn't have to hear how shit you were. So you're still there like, you missed us. Yeah, I went off. Yeah, you're still dressed like, you got your leather jacket and the long hair and stuff. Your guitar. Yeah, let me get my guitar. This is mine. My guitar.
That is
I played it
totally-
earlier. You should have seen it
Brilliant.
next time.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. I had game.
I'll let him watch me and then hate me later.
Exactly. Anyway, getting to the hair then, I got a bald patch happening there. That's why I shaved it all off.
Is that recent?
Yeah. For the last 5 years, maybe.
Oh, mine's going.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
I lived for a while with it because that's what you probably notice I always wear hats.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's because of the bald patch, right?
that's why I wear bandanas.
Yeah, yeah. And I just sort of thought, do you know what? It's going. It can all go, but I'm going to take it out all at once. Bye.
It's weird that it grows everywhere else thicker except your head.
Why is there hair on my nipples,
I know.
but a bald patch up here?
That's fucking weird.
The fucking shit
It's
is that
fucking
about?
gross.
It is wrong in every way. Also, what do you do about nipple hair? Like, I'm not putting scissors near that thing. I'll
You gotta wax
accidentally
it.
cut it. See, I'm not fucking doing that.
It hurts.
Yeah, I'm not
I've done
doing
it a
that.
couple times.
There's no way I'm doing that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you think it will go to the point where we can't say anything to anybody?
I can't answer that question.
I think,
I
I think it would go the other way.
Probably. I guess it goes in cycles. But the thing, there are words we wouldn't use now that we definitely would have used in the 80s without really thinking twice about it. And there are reasons we don't use them. But the intent behind those, we've just replaced them with different words. We're still treating people the same way. So I don't know whether it makes a big deal of difference whether you police the words or not, because it's like it hasn't changed the way people are.
Yeah.
Like, we don't use that word anymore because we've been told not to use that word, so we use a different word, or we express our distaste or dislike of this group of people a different way. It hasn't changed the actual prejudices and discrimination that goes on. So it's like, I don't have a problem with people saying, don't use that word, it's offensive. Okay, I won't use that fucking word, cunt, get off your high horse. But I don't know that it makes any real difference. So it's like, you know. Like the way your Gatorade flower bottle is actually also a bong.
No, it's not a bong. It's a water feature.
It's a vase.
It's a vase.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Water feature. Yep.
Yeah. This is, custom made water feature.
Yeah.
Water goes in there.
Yeah.
Some-
And features.
Yeah, flowers in it and features.
Yeah.
We had pretty much the whole lockdown to figure out how we were going to decorate this podcast.
Okay, and this is what you came up
We
with.
went with 14-year-old boys room.
Okay, it's pretty good.
Yeah. We got marijuana girl. It's got nothing to do with the ornament. We can put Munster's time
You
up
have a
there.
sombrero, so Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's some. Yeah, well, there's Puerto Rico. Well, it's American.
Well, it's an unconstituted American territory. It's not the same thing.
All right. Well, I think just being this podcast, I think it would be weird if I didn't ask.
Oh, yeah.
Out of all your directing, have you
Yeah.
ever made a porno?
No.
You ever thought about it?
Yes. And the reason why is because I remember, like, ages ago, we had this discussion, me and some of the other people who produce films with me, were like, how can we get some money together to make this film we want to make? And it was seriously suggested that, like, maybe we'll make a porno. We're quite old, so this is a while ago. But there'd be no money in making a porno now because of the interwebs.
Well, you'd have to ask Alyssa, who's made porn.
There you
Is
go.
there money in it?
There's plenty of money in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, in what way, though? In
If
what?
you do it the right way,
Yeah, okay.
you can't just start from scratch.
Like
and
make a
then
porno movie.
expect
Yeah, you
to
can't just have the
make
fucking
a shit
radio
ton of money.
playing with a song.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's encouraging because it probably made the right call by saying, let's not make a porno, but that won't make us money.
No, that was a wrong move.
No, but we would have made the wrong kind of porno for sure. What do I know about making
Make a
porno?
Tarantino porno.
But that would,
Tarantino.
that would just be a
themed
Tarantino movie.
porno.
So the difference is they're all just topless and having sex a lot?
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. I don't know. Let that last scene of Pulp Fiction play out. Like, if he never came back to help him, what happens then? He just comes like, I actually really enjoyed that.
Well, okay, the extended answer is no because there's no money in it. But if there's money in it, maybe.
Could be money in that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got that one out of the way.
Yeah.
All right. So you come back from London,
Yes.
right? Now you're 30 and you're broke as shit
Yep.
in your car,
Yeah.
and you're still a director,
Yeah.
or like getting more passionate about movies, or
It's a bit, I don't know, it's like a drug addiction. It's like really bad for you, but it's hard to give up.
that's true.
And you spend all your money on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you lose all your friends because of it and all that kind of stuff. So it's very much like a drug, I guess. Yeah, I was. So all through that period is when I started making From Parts Unknown. And I
Okay.
would have been doing music videos then as well.
Just
I
for
think.
some money on the side.
Well, do you know what? I used to just do music videos as favors.
Oh, word.
Like, because I thought, because again, I said before, I learn by experience or whatever. So, like, I'm always like, oh, okay, if you need that, I'll do it for you. I won't charge you because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'd go and do it and da-da-da. And I thought, oh, yeah, that'd be a good experience. The catch-22 of doing that is you get known as the guy who does stuff for free.
Yeah.
So suddenly you're overloaded with all this stuff you have to do for free. But I did that for a long time and helped out on other people's shoots. I'd always be like, yeah, I'll help you with an edit on that, or I'll help you out on set, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then that's where I got a lot of experience working on other people's
Shittest
stuff.
film you ever made. Like, even if it's just the people you're like, these cunts were a pack of fucking assholes. You can say it and we'll just bleep the name out. Like if there's a band, we'll just bleep out the band name.
Ah, yeah, no, yeah. There's been some difficult to work with bands. I'm not avoiding the question. I honestly can't think of somebody to like call out, but there's definitely been some really difficult to work with bands. Like it can be really challenging working with a band because you got to please every band member and all their girlfriends and their manager or whoever it is hanging around who pretends to be their manager.
Yeah.
You know, bands always have that person who's their manager.
Yeah,
You're
that's
like,
me.
what the fuck are you managing? What do you mean you're their manager?
Yeah.
Like,
Just
you're
hang
managing
around.
their finances? What band has money?
That sounds super stressful. And I think you deserve a gift for all your hard work.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to, every podcast, because of the lockdown, I'm just buying something from a local business in St Kilda. I don't know. I send the girls off to get the gift. Is it in this one? In the shady brown paper bag.
Oh, it's a
And
porno.
girls, where is this from? If I can advertise, did you write it down on a piece of paper?
It is from Danish Blue Adult Centre.
Okay.
There you go. It is a porno. Nice. Or is it so I can shave my pubes? This is the other
I'm
important
intrigued.
thing. Oh, hang on. Is this a fleshlight? That's what these are. I don't even know
It's a
what this
fleshlight.
is.
No
it-
smell. It's advertised on the front there.
What?
No smell. That's brilliant. Okay, I'll use that on the way home.
She has a name.
Linda.
Do
That's
you
it.
want to show the
It's
camera?
like 10 points.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
Is that if that's your mum's name? Like,
Highly recommended.
are you
You
even
can-
allowed to show that on the thing?
We can blur it out.
What's
Awesome.
not?
We're doing our part.
It's not
here
real.
To help out.
What's this though?
I think that's lubricant.
Oh,
It would have to be, right?
Can't have one without the other there.
yeah. Okay, fair enough. I was just wondering why it's not included in the package.
You can raw dog it.
Yeah.
You can raw dog it.
Well, see, I'm not gonna carry that in a paper bag. I'm gonna carry that.
I love how they still give you the classic paper bag.
No,
and
there
shit
was-
like that. They're like,
There's no doubt this was porn. Like there was nothing else it could be but some filthy
it's
thing.
true. You used to get your
Yeah.
drugs in a paper bag. Now everyone's a bit more open about it now.
This
Eh?
isn't bothering the sound guy, is it? Is that all right?
It's great. Keep doing it. We're not clipping or anything.
ASMR.
Yeah. That'd be a new film. Just start
Awesome.
making ASMRs.
Genius.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well, that's
Uh,
it. Well, I have to go. I
Jesus.
got business tonight.
oh, you definitely do. Well, we're just trying to do our small part to help out the local businesses
No, that's good.
around St Kilda. Thank you for being on my podcast. I'm sure, you'll need trauma
No, thank
therapy
you.
after this.
Thank you for having me, and I apologise that I was on your podcast.
It's okay. I think we can have a beer later and discuss the end of both our fucking careers.
Good,
From this
excellent.
One.
It's all right. I'm well past 27, so time to go.
All right, no worries. I'm Max Shepard. This has been the Rusty Trombone, episode 2.